Hello. Uh, so, what I wanted to do today was raise to our concern an issue which I think people sense yet are not able to represent simply because we are ignorant of the facets which are entailed in its coming together. People talk about uh, a lack of jobs, industry creating new jobs, people applying for them, you have advertisements for them everywhere. But what actually happens when a number greater than the number of vacancies applies for the same position? What are the criterias for selection that are exercised by the owners or the management? And what do the people who don't get picked do? This is a concern which is literally as omnipotent as uh, cities, I believe. And this is not something that the left takes up in any formalized sense. I mean, you may have certain labor unions that chart out working conditions and negotiate contractual relations between employers and employees. Yet that entire process begins only after a company has or has not hired someone. Now, that's at the beginning of the cycle. At the end, you need to realize that ultimately what you do as a profession is for a monetary sum that you have signed up for. When or if your employer fails at providing that to you, that is a criminal offense. If you cannot report it, you are, well, doing yourself and your position a disservice. Now, another facet which we are largely ignorant of is the number of employers who do default on their wages. What you would get to hear on the news or in the newspapers, on TV and stuff, is when there are cases of mass defaults, such as when Kingfisher is unable to pay their pilots. However, I can't help but imagine that there would be a number of smaller organizations, companies in retail, in manufacture, that do have lagging and if not cancelled prior payments. And if we have no index of this, there would be no way to fix the problem. uh, I think that that would be a great deal of benefit were, for example, organizations like Oxfam to begin to start charting some of these lacunae in our information. Instead of sending fact finding teams which perhaps dig up an old case of disharmony in a neighborhood regarding how a particular religious shrine was placed or something, I think this would far more concretely address where some of the dissatisfactions of a settlement may be arising from. Uh, and if that is done in a way that is compilable, that can be perhaps indexed via industry or region, there may be people who can audit such records to be able to provide an understanding to people in other locations as to what the situation may be. When I go through uh, websites, newspapers, social media channels, this information has not been apparent to me. Asking people on a face to face basis is simply impractical because no one is going to be able to put together anything meaningfully coherent in that fashion. Uh, as to who takes this up as a responsibility, I think the uh, uh, university system could get involved at some level, as it does involve an inquiry into the living conditions of people. Yet, it would be best advised if they could rope in some kind of help from think tanks and other organizations on the periphery of formalized governmental institutions who have sadly not undertaken any such finding. Anyway, I hope you consider what I have said, and if you have any suggestions which seem to address these issues or if you know of any work done in this field, I would welcome you to share it with us in a comment below the video, and hopefully we'll be able to follow through on it. Thank you for your time. Bye bye.